Ordinary Average Guy podcast show. Yeah. Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing? Oh, it's the Ordinary Average Guy podcast show coming at you, previously recorded. And guess where I'm recording? Yeah. The Buxy Hootie Studios. Nothing special here. No special location. No on assignment. Just ordinary average stuff. Buxy Hootie Studio. How's everyone doing? We're halfway through August. Oh, summer's going by so fast. Summer's going by so quickly. Fall is right around the corner. I got my, it's a little chilly down here in the old Buxy Hootie Studio. I got a sweatshirt on. I got my, pulled out the old flannel pajama pants. Got my moccasins on. Moccasins. I've decided that I'm going to be a hybrid comfort shoe wearer. All right. So I got the moccasins. I got the Crocs. If you remember, I rebutted everything I ever said about Crocs. They're my go-to shoe. Actually, I'm a big Croc guy. I'm full of Croc. I'm just one big Croc. If I'm out going out in the garage, so this is what I came down to. If I'm doing anything outside, if I'm going out in the garage, if I'm working out in the garage with my hands, cutting the grass, whatever, stuff like that. If I'm making a quick trip to the grocery store or the gas, I think you catch where I'm going with this. I'm throwing the Crocs on, okay? Now, if I'm lounging around the house, like, for example, in the Buxy Hootie Studios here, we have concrete floors, right? There is no, just good old-fashioned concrete, the way the good Lord intended. I got the moccasins on, right? There's a little, like, a fur lining in there. They're still, durable, grippy. They're grippy. I'm not slipping and sliding. So I there's a time and a place for the Croc, and there's a time and a place for the mock. Okay? That's basically what everything's coming down to. That's the big news in my life. That's what's going on in the land of J. Ken. Crocs, mock. And then I got the old flannel pajama pants on, right? So, oh, Jesus Christ. I saw a guy. I love these pants. They're comfy. They're cozy. They're comfy and cozy. But, and I've probably said this before too, I'm not going outside in these pants. I don't even know if I have the confidence enough to go to, like, the mailbox in these. If it's, I'd probably go to the mailbox. But I the other day, I was in a city that I dislike very much. I'm not going to name the city, but it's kind of a shithole, I think. That's my thoughts. Anyway, I was at a park. Short story long, I was at a park during the work day, but I was supposed to be there. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, I saw this guy walking through the park midday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, beautiful day. And this guy's walking through the park and he has pajama pants on. And I just am thinking to myself, whoa, you should not make assumptions, right? But obviously I made an assumption. Obviously, he's a meth head, right? Obviously. I mean, goes without saying. If you walk in the park on a beautiful day and you got your pajama pants on, if you're not a meth head, people are going to think you are a meth head. So you're probably going to want to throw on a pair of slacks, pair of blue jeans, or a pair of shorts, even, athletic shorts even. Yeah, that's the thing. Athletic shorts are fine. It's and even sweatpants. Sweatpants are becoming very popular these days. I see a lot of young whippersnappers walking around in sweatpants. Now, I wouldn't do that. I'd put on a pair of jeans, like, again, the good Lord intended. But whatever, I'll let the sweatpants slide. It's the, you know what, to be honest with you, I used to have a pair, I got them for Christmas or something, like sweatpants. Geez, some of those sweatpants are more money than my jeans. I had a pair of sweatpants. I don't even know if you'd call them sweatpants. They were Nikes. Remember these? I would say 15 years ago, they were really popular. They were Nike black sweatpants, but they weren't like, but they were like silkier or whatever. They were like a dry fit material. You guys remember what I'm talking about? I had a pair of those. I got them for Christmas, I want to say. And I did wear those out and about because they were nice. They were a nice looking sweatpant. But I'm not going to wear some ratty old sweatpants out and about. But to each their own. I'm not going to judge you if you do. But there's something about the flannel there's the flannel pajama pants, and if you're one of these people that wear them out and about, you know how I feel. I'm not gonna hold back. You know how I feel. If I see you in public wearing the flannel pajama pants, I might not say anything. Depends how I know you, but I want you to know that in my mind, I am judging you very harshly. And I do believe that you have gotten into methamphetamine. So just if you want me to think that you're a meth head, wear those pants outside. But anyway, I got them on right now, and they are fantastic. So the mocks, the flannel, and the sweatshirt. Now I'm down in the Buck Studio, and I am just as cozy as can be. Doesn't get no better. To be me, so cozy and comfy. Oh, to be me. Just came up with that out the top of my head. Did not have that written down. Did not think about that. I just came out with that in top of my head. I don't think songwriting is as hard as people think. Kurt Cobain, man. Bob Dylan. Dude. I can write a song right now. Let me just come up with some song lyrics. You want to go heavy? You want to go heavy? Dungy basement. In my dungy basement. In my dungy. You know what? Basement's a hard word to rhyme with something. Basement, pavement. Okay. I'm in my dungy basement. Upgrade from the pavement. Right? So obviously this guy is on hard luck. He's living in a dungy basement, but things are looking up because he used to live on the pavement, as in he was homeless, but now he's in a basement. So that's where the song is going. I'm in my dungy basement, but better than the pavement, right? Well, so we already got the first two lines down. Easy peasy. Anyway, let's get on track here. I got so what was I up to the last couple of weeks since we talked last, to the tens and tens of you? How are you guys doing? I truly want to know. I'm not sitting here saying, please, I'm curious, write and comment. I am genuinely interested. I'm always interested in how the other ordinary average people are living their lives. I see how the rich and famous live their lives on TV, but I want to know about you, the ordinary average person, just like me, right? I couldn't be happier right now. My wife's on kid duty, right? She's putting the kids to bed. I'm down here talking to you. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm comfy and cozy. I mean, why would I want to be... I was thinking about that today. Why would I want to be a rich and famous... No, don't get me wrong. If I'm going to be rich and famous, I mean, I'm not going to turn it down, I guess. But why would I want to... Really, I was thinking about that. The Rolling Stones, right? Paul McCartney, all these people that are rich and famous, but yet, like, they're still touring. And they're still working. And they're like 80-some years old. You know what I mean? Ozzy Osbourne died 2 weeks before that. He was working. I don't like just retire. I got a 55. I'm done. I'm done. And I'm not looking back. My uncle is a minister, believe it or not. Got a minister in my family. I bet you wouldn't think that. How I run my life hard. I run my life hard. The people I hang with, you wouldn't think I got a minister, but I do. And he's retiring. And I actually told him the other day, I said, why? Why are you retiring as a minister? If you're a minister, that's the one job where you're still going to go there every week. Like if you're a minister, you don't preach for 30, 40 years, retire, and then you're like, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming here anymore. I would imagine you don't do that. When I quit my job, I'm going to leave that parking lot and I will never go back. Within 2-3 hours, I'm probably going to forget the name of the company I worked for. That is my goal. When you're a minister, every Sunday morning, you still kind of like gotta go. So why not just put in if you're going to be there, why not just get paid for it? Am I wrong? I don't know. But like these guys, like, Paul McCartney, first one that comes to mind, or actors, right? Helen Mirren. All these people are like 150 years old and they're working. I don't know. Why would you want to do that? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't think they have it. I don't think it's that glamorous, to be honest with you. I don't think it's what it's cracked up to be. I'm being honest. Everywhere they go, the cameras are on them. Can I have your autograph? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's got to be cool to be loved, I would think. But after a while, don't you just kind of want to just be like an ordinary average guy? Whoa! That's what I'm talking about, people. I'm starting a revolution here. Ordinary and average is all you want. That's it. That's the key to happiness. That's the key to happiness. Have a little money in the bank account, Be able to get approved for loans if you need one, right? Have a couple kids, right? It's really, I'm telling you, that's the way to be. That's the ordinary average way is the way to be. And I'll stick by that. Now, this obviously is being said, and it's going to be on the internet for years and years to come. If I ever were to become rich and famous, you have to check back to me. Because to be honest with you, you know what? Maybe what would be the right amount rich? My dad always talks about every time there's the Powerball, right? The Powerball's at 500 million or something. He calls, texts. Did you get your Powerball? Did you get a Powerball? And it's like, Dad, I don't even want that much. I don't even want that much money. There is something to like these people. You turn on the news. Donald Trump's fighting for the 1%. Blah blah blah. Though, these people that want more, like I don't know the guy. I don't know. I'm just saying, like an Elon Musk type person, right? Like, why would you need more? Why would you want more? Now, I'm not saying we should tax the shit out of you and take it all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, on a human level, when's enough enough? Like, what's the point of having all that money? And I'm not saying this from a political standpoint or anything like that. I'm just literally, honestly thinking, like, I think, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to, budget your money and are we going to have enough? I think it's fun. It's a challenge. I wouldn't, like I said, but that being said, what would be the right dollar amount? And this is the question. This is the question for the tens and tens of you. I'm generally curious. What would be a good dollar amount in your bank account So obviously you have no worries, right? Your money's not an option. You have no worries. You're living comfortably. You can afford what you want to afford, but you're not so rich, whereas like people treat you differently, one way or the other. People. When is it? What dollar amount is it from when you're still like you got a lot of money, but you're still a good old boy. You're still old, ordinary, and average. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to the gas station this evening, and a guy was getting gas here, and he had a Pontiac GTO. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said that I don't really like that car. I someday would very much like to have a Pontiac GTO in my garage that I can take out on a Sunday evening, me and my lovely bride, and we go cruising up and down the road, getting 7 miles to the gallon, just down the road. That's pretty cool, huh? That's how I do. That's cars. It's me driving off over the hill into the sunset. Oh, that was not bad. Okay, me driving over the hill into the sunset. That's me. That is a dream of mine. I do want, I obviously can't afford that now, but someday I would like to have that. So obviously I got to have some money set aside to, I was at the grocery store. Then I went to the grocery store today. Every Sunday for the last how many weeks now, I need to go to the grocery store to get my Diet Sun Drop for the week. I'm going to come back to this because I got to talk about this too. Diet Sun Drop. I am now addicted to Diet Sun Drop. I don't remember if I talked about this last week or not, but but more AI. I got to talk about Diet Sun Drop and AI. If I don't talk about that, remind me. Just call the number and remind me. But so I went to the grocery store today, right? And my lovely wife, my old lady, she said, pick up some butter and pick up some syrup. And I said, yes, I can do that. So I went to the grocery store and was looking at the syrup, and I just ended up I did splurge a little bit. Now, syrup is one of those where I don't need to get the name brand. I'm okay buying the off-brand, but the dollar price wasn't too much different, so I went with Mrs. Buttersworth. Mrs. Buttersworth, that's what I grew up on. My wife, she buys like the off, and I literally made this conscious decision today of I'm buying the Mrs. Buttersworth because I don't want my kids to grow up not eating Mrs. Buttersworth. That was it. That's what I said to myself, standing there. I said, I don't want my kids to grow up not ever experiencing eating Mrs. Buttersworth. I grew up eating Mrs. Buttersworth, and God damn it, my kids are going to grow up eating Mrs. Buttersworth as well. Just the way it is. Essential, every day or whatever, that brand or whatever it's called. It's like, I'll get that next time. But I'm going to have my kids enjoy Mrs. Buttersworth. Oh, because I've enjoyed Mrs. Buttersworth. Ooh, Mrs. Buttersworth. Oh, yeah, baby. Anyway, so Mrs. Buttersworth, I got that. But then I was looking at the top shelf. Now, what's funny about syrup, and when you go to the grocery store, you'll see, top shelf liquors, right? If you're at the bar, you get your rail, right? And then you got the stuff on the shelf, but then you got the stuff on the top shelf. And syrup is similar. You have the stuff that's kind of at eye level, and the Mrs. Buttersworth, you got the store brand, all that stuff. And then, obviously there's no Aunt Jemima anymore. Now it's called Pearl Milling or something, which that's kind of old news, but I never understood that. I would like someone a listener to the show to explain to me. Now, I'm not me. I don't want this to turn into anything, but I am just curious. The Aunt Jemima, right? That's the one where they took, there was an African American lady face on the bottle, and they took the bottle off, and because it was, racial or something. But in that particular situation, now just tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm onto something. Wouldn't that be more of a, hey, tip of the cap to the African-American lady that started the company? Right? You know what I mean? Like, hey, Aunt Jemima, you did something good here, and we're going to honor you by putting your face on the bottle. Like, is that a bad, right? Or is there more to the story? I don't know. There could be. Now that I'm thinking about this, maybe there is no Aunt Jemima at all. And it's just a bunch of marketing people that are like, well, we better throw let's think, an old black woman. Yes, let's do that. That'll sell syrup. Maybe that's the case. And if that's the case, then I see both sides. But so I don't know. I don't know the backstory of Aunt Jemima. I'm curious. I would like to hear from the 10s and 10s on this. I could very easily ask ChatGPT and we could put this thing to bed. But I'm curious, because here's my thought. This is me. I just don't know which way is true. If there was an actual Aunt Jemima who made some kick-ass syrup, and then she started this company, and it blew up, and now it's nationwide, I think it should be called Aunt Jemima, and her face should be all over that syrup bottle. Now, if none of that ever happened, and Aunt Jemima is just a made-up person, and people were just trying to sling some syrup, then I could see, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. So I don't know the story. So I would like you to tell me. Anyway, nothing against Aunt Jemima, but I am not. I never had Aunt Jemima. Again, I'm a Mrs. Buttersworth kind of guy. So, like Mrs. Robinson. She's the Mrs. Robinson of syrup. Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, 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 Simon and Garfunkel. That's back when music was music. None of shit they play nowadays. Yes. Anyway, so what did we accomplish today? Mrs. Buttersworth is the Mrs. Robinson of syrup. I'm a crock, mock, hybrid kind of guy. Yeah, this is good entertainment, good wholesome entertainment. So anyway, what I was saying is that I was looking at the syrup, and on the top shelf, that's the syrup that's in the glass bottles. And I was looking at that syrup, and I would be lying to you if I did not, in my mind at that time, think to myself, God damn, I wish I had some syrup money. You know what I mean? I wish I had enough money where I could just buy the top shelf syrup. And, it's not going to break the bank. No one's going to question me why I have that syrup in the pantry. Why did you buy this syrup? The syrup's like $6 more. I'm not getting any of that. And then after that, I had to get butter. So I went over to the butter. And I saw some butter there. I just got the Essential Everyday butter is the brand. And I had Land O'Lakes in my hand. And I also saw Country Crock. Now, what is Country Crock? I don't really understand what... Is Country Crock butter, but it's just in a big old plastic container? I'm assuming. Gosh darn it, I almost wanted to buy that too. Country Crock. Because of my shoes. Crocs, right? I'm a big croc guy. Crocodiles. Oh, love them. Anyway, so I got the Essential Everyday, but then I saw this other brand of butter, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was from Ireland. It was from butter from Ireland. I think it was like Kill something. Yes, no, not Kill at all. It wasn't even close. Started with a K, though. Kerrygold, it's called. Kerrygold. Pure Irish butter. Oh, I saw the Kerrygold, and I was thinking to myself, gosh darn it. How would I just love to open my fridge and see Kerrygold pure Irish butter in my fridge? But it's, it was about the same price, but it was half the size, right? Essentially, every day you get 4 sticks. Kerrygold, I think, was only going to be 2 sticks for the same price. So, but I just thought, someday I would like to open my pantry and see a glass jar of syrup. And I like to open my fridge and see pure Irish butter. And then I'd like to go out in my garage and see an old Pontiac GTO sitting there looking at me. So I thought, how much money, but, I don't want to be some rich D-bag asshole either, right? So what is the dollar amount? There comes the question, ladies and gentlemen. There comes the question. What's the dollar amount? The most a guy can have, or a woman, where they can be buying Irish butter, driving old hot rods, and still just be your ordinary average person. Because I think there's a dollar amount out there. I know rich people, and they're dicks. They're assholes. Pretty much every goddamn one of them. I know a lot of them, unfortunately. Or I meet a lot of them. They're all pricks. Every one of them. There's something about it. So how much money do you get? And then because when you have that one, you have X amount of dollars, where you can be buying all the Irish butter in the world and have a kick-ass old Jeep. I'm not saying you have a collection, but you just have one. You have one old car in the garage, not 17, just one. You're still an average guy. But then you get that one extra dollar, and then something happens, and now you just turn from an ordinary average guy that has a little bit of money to a rich prick. And I want to know what that dollar amount is. Write me and tell me what that is at jkenoag@outlook.com, or message me on Messenger on the Facebook at the Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show. That's what it's called. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Update. My pool is looking like garbage. It's green. I just haven't had time to take care of it. And if you don't have time to take care of a pool, that pool is going to flip on a dime, and it's going to go from a crystal clear, wonderful thing that you see out the back window, and overnight it turns into 15,000 gallons of Mountain Dew. And it's just like, oh my God. And I'm dreading. Today was the day I was gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna get this pool under control. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I am a woodworker on the side. I have a hobby of woodworking, and I'm trying to turn it into a little side business, actually. And I've gotten a couple orders, actually. I've gotten some people that reached out to me, and I'm commission work, we call that. Commissions. The guys on YouTube call that. So I had stuff I had to do. So that took priority. And I also enjoy doing that. I don't enjoy the pool. I hate the pool with all my heart. So I didn't get the pool done today, but it's got to get I got to vacuum it. I got to shock it. I got to do some sort of magic spell, some witchcraft. I don't know. But that pool is just... And then our fish tank, I think I told you a while back, we have goldfish. Those sons of bitches are still holding on. I between you and me, if I came downstairs in the morning and those 2 fish were floating at the top of the tank, inside I would be the happiest guy in the world. I told my wife, I said, flush them down the toilet. And she said, we can't do that. They're still alive. And I said, they're fish. It's not like they're in the water. You're just sending them to the, it's like when you let you capture an animal and then you let it go free. It's the same thing. We're putting these fish back into nature where they want to be. We all have seen Finding Nemo. They want to be in the ocean or some sort of waterway. So I told her, let's flush these goddamn things down the toilet. Get rid of these things. She won't do it. And that fish tank is that fish tank. Talk about, my wife and I spent a good amount of time cleaning that fish tank, right? We siphoned the water out, halfway, and then we put new water in. We put water conditioner in. We changed the filter, blah, 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 all this stuff. And that tank was looking awesome. And then all of a sudden, overnight, again, there's something about water and like looking great to just like, fuck you, green. I don't know what it is, but there's something about, and that our fish tank is like, my wife and I are looking at each other because we put so much work into that fish tank, cleaning that up. And we're just looking and we're just like, screw it. We just been like, screw it. If you come to my house right now, you're going to look at that fish tank and you're going to be like, oh my God, guys, oh my God. And it's just like, we can't do it anymore. These fish. And every goldfish I've ever had in my life has lived on average 8 days. And these fish, for whatever reason, are the most resilient bastards I've ever seen in my life. And they just won't die. And, but I don't have it in me to kill them either. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking, like, dropping some gasoline in the fish. Oh, man, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble from PETA. PETA's going to be on my ass. I didn't do it, but it crossed my mind. But I don't have it in me to I'm not a killer. I really am not. I'm not a killer. If I'm ever on trial for murder, have people listen to this episode, please. Like, I don't even have it in me to kill goldfish that are driving me bonkers, much less a human being. You know what I mean? I'm not a killer. I don't like killing. I don't even like. I just don't like it. I'm such a. You might call me a pansy. Call me a pansy. I don't care. I don't like killing things. I even like like flies and shit. Now my wife, on the other hand, she's like the Adolf Hitler of killing flies. She loves it. Oh man, does she love killing flies? She sees a fly, and if she sees a fly, that fly's days are numbered. She got a fly swatter that's electric. It's electric fly swatter. It's like, I don't know if the electric current is necessary. Like, you get hit, if you're a fly and you get hit with a fly swatter, I'll go on record and say that I've never seen a fly survive. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yes, I have seen flies get hit with a fly swatter and then they're still alive, but they're badly injured. They're just laying there like, and you just take one more whack. I've never seen a fly need to be whacked more than twice with a fly swatter. A fly swatter generally does the trick. But my wife, she don't like flies. No. So she's got a fly swatter that has a current in it. Not only do you get hit with a swatter, but then you also get electrocuted. She doesn't. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. She loves killing flies. So if there's a murder, don't look at me. Look at her. Look at her. But anyway, like I said, those damn fish. What else has been going on? Yeah, I got some stuff written down here, but it's not going to go. I got some stuff written on a piece of paper here that I kept track of like the last couple weeks, but it's not going to go with the flow. It's not going to go with the flow of the show. You know, I believe it or not, a lot of this, everything I said up to this point has been pretty much off the cuff. But I feel better knowing that I have the notes. You know what I mean? Because if I just feel better going into the show knowing that I have notes to fall back on if I need to. What did I write down here? Oh, this is kind of funny. For my job, for work, my actual day job, I had a booth. We had a booth at a farm show, right? I'm trying to get some work with farmers, right? You know, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how else to better explain that. But at this farm show, right? And, you know, it's called Farm Technology Days. It's all about technology, okay? A lot of advancements going on in the world of agriculture. Crazy. It's not just pulling tits. God damn it. No, there's a lot to it. But one thing I noticed at the Farm Technology Days, a lot of Amish people. A lot of Amish people walking around. And I just didn't understand that. I don't know, like, why are they doing that to themselves? You know you can't have any of this stuff. You probably shouldn't even be looking at it. But you're here. Why? You know what I mean? It's like, it's very like going to like a strip club. It's going to a strip club. You know you can't have it. You know you can't touch it. So why are you there even? I never was a big strip club guy. Hand to God, I wasn't ever really a big strip club guy. I know people that were. Let's go to the strip club. Yeah. Hell yeah, let's go to the strip club. Yeah. I never, and don't get me wrong, it's not because of the women and, you know, thinking to myself, you know, this is inhumane. No, not that. It was because if you can't really touch them, what's the point? Right? What's the point? Now, hookers, on the other hand, yeah, I get that. That makes sense to me. But I never understood this. I'm working on a new bit. I'm going to see if that's the kind of stuff I did back in my comedy days. The beautiful thing about that joke, why that's a good joke, why it's a good joke, is because you start out by saying you don't understand strip clubs, you know, I don't like them, stuff like that, and the crowd thinks you don't like them because of the nature of the business. But then you do the twist at the end and you say, I don't like, you can't touch them. Now hookers, and then when you say now hookers, that's when you get the laugh. That's when you get the laugh. That's Comedy 101 right there. That's Comedy 101 and 102. So, anyway. What else are we talking about here? Oh, I have Cardinal fell out of my book here. All right. This is a cool little, I didn't even know this was in here. This little book I got. It's like a little, let's see, this is probably 5 feet tall. Yeah, 5 feet by 3.5, I would say. A little pocket book. And on the back flap, there's like this little pocket that you can put stuff in. And I didn't know I had that until right now. Oh, yeah, shit. Been talking for 40 minutes. Let's get to some emails, huh? Nope, wrong one. Yeah, let's get some emails. Let's see if we got any emails from the 10s and 10s out there. Come on, baby. Oh, no. I just got a text message from my grandmother. There was a family reunion today. Distant family. Usually, I would be all over that. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a case of FOMO today. I had some FOMO today. But, like I said, gosh darn it, I just had a lot of stuff going on. I had, I got a side hustle going on right now, and I got to get some orders to fill up, so I did not go to the family reunion, and I felt bad about that, and now I really feel like a piece of shit, because my grandma just sent me a text message, just had to tell you, we missed you at the reunion today. I even made a pan of apple bars, and those are my favorite. Those are my absolute favorite. My grandma, maybe you guys have had grandmas like this, where, usually grandmas historically are phenomenal cooks and bakers, right? There's just something about a grandma's cooking that is just, second to none, right? Like my grandma, for example, makes a chili. It's nothing special. There's nothing special at all about it. Noodles. We put noodles in it. Meat, right? Tomato soup, an insane amount of brown sugar. I mean, there's nothing special about it. But when she makes that chili, it is just so good. It's delicious. Then when I try to make the chili, or if my wife or my mom or my aunts, when someone else makes the chili, again, a very simple recipe. Yeah, it's good. It tastes fine, but it's just not grandma's chili, right? Well, anyway, my grandma makes apple bars, a pan of apple bars, like apple pie, but bars. And, I guarantee you she made those thinking about me in her head. She's like, I'm going to make these for little Jake Ken. No, not so little anymore, Grandma. Not so little anymore. I even made a pan of apple bars, smiley face. Oh, that smiley face even has a little... that's interesting. My grandma knows more about emojis than I do. There's a little tongue sticking out and everything. Like licking your lips kind of thing. I do have some left, as I also made mocha torte, but that was gone. And then she's got a face with a bunch of hearts on it. You ever feel 2 feet tall? That's how I feel right now. Well, anyway, remind me, tens and tens, to text her back. Just call and remind me to text her back. Let's get to some emails here. Let's see what's on Facebook Messenger, shall we? Bear with me. I gotta get to it. Just bear with me. Just calm down. I'm getting there. Hey, what's this? This is on Facebook here. Who's this chick? Bobby. This is on my feed here. Bobby Altoff. Bobby Altoff reveals she has officially ended her podcast, quote unquote, the Really Good Podcast. Good name. Yeah, okay. That's lame. It's no ordinary average guy podcast show, I'll tell you that right now. She says, this podcast started as a dream to make more money. I didn't know I would fall off as quickly as I did. To be honest, I did think this was going to last a bit longer. I didn't know you could make money doing this. I didn't know you could make money. Wish someone would tell me how. After I just did a 30-minute rant about how I don't want to be rich. Okay, we got a couple things here. Hello, Jake Ken. This is from Ben. Charcoal grill, 100%. Better tasting food. Also takes longer to get going, so you spend more time outside by yourself with a beer or mixer without being bothered by the family. Ben. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that when I originally asked the question a few episodes back, charcoal versus propane. Now, I have a situation that's a little differently where I also have a smoker grill, which can do my grilling, but again, it takes a while for it to get fired up. Charcoal, you have, the taste. And I agree. There's nothing like eating off a charcoal grill. But I, in my mind, was thinking propane because of the quickness. But Ben has a good point. That's an opportunity for you to sit out in the backyard with a cold bush light, waiting for the grill to get going. He also continues to say, weird thought, is water wet? Question mark. Interesting. I wonder where he's going to go with this. Or does water make things wet? Let me see here once. Because if something is wet, you can dry it. Like a ball remains a ball whether it's wet or dry. Okay. If you dry water, it disappears and is no longer water. So is water indeed even wet? Oh my God. Talk about a mind F word. Interesting. So water can make something wet, but itself is not wet. And the only reason you think water is wet is because when you touch it, you become wet. But maybe water's not wet at all. Interesting. Very interesting. That's the type of stuff I'm looking for, ladies and gentlemen. That's the type of stuff that's going to make this show go straight to the top. All right. We have a message from Ange. Ange, been a long time since we had a message from Ange, but we got one. Let's read it. You want my opinion on gas or charcoal grill? Yes, I do. She says, I think gas. Like you said, if you don't want to wait for okay. I can tell by the first sentence that this is kind of what I was asking for. I need something in my situation. Okay, this is what she says. I think gas, like you said, if you don't want to wait for the pellet grill, you'll not want to wait for charcoal. Interesting. Yes, good point. And all that lighter fluid to get it going. Then, if you're cooking a lot of burgers or brats, the charcoal will, quote-unquote, run out, and you got to add more and get that warm. Also, you got to clean out and dispose of the charcoal after a while. Seems like way too much work for a busy guy like you. Amen. You know what? I agree. I think you're absolutely right. I think I'm gonna have to save up and get a gas grill. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. That's why I got the pellet grill. But I just need something for the quick burgers on a weeknight. You know, quick supper. Throw it on the old propane grill. But I need to do more research because there is grills out there. And I'm not knowledgeable on them, but there are grills. I think sorry if my English was wrong there. There are grills out there that do both. They're combo grills that you can use. You can use them as a propane grill, right? Or there's like a tray where you can put charcoal in the tray, and the propane is what actually gets the charcoal going. So then that way, if you do want that charcoal taste, you have that option. And then you still got to clean them out and everything like that. You know, dispose of everything. But for the occasion where you want the charcoal taste, so that maybe I have to do some more research on that though, because I don't think there's a lot of grills like that. I think there's just a few. And from the ones I saw, they're very small. And I need a big grill. I'm not one of those guys that has a small little. I need a man's grill. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, let's see what we have on the email. And I guess you can email us at theordinaryaverageguy. You can email me at jkenoag@outlook.com. Okay, so here's an email also from Ange. Now, I do apologize on this one because she sent this way back on July 20th, but it was in my junk, and I never saw it. So I'm just doing a quick browse here to make sure that's not one of those things where, like she emailed me, I didn't say it, so then she, sent me a message and said it. And it looks like it's not one of those situations. So I'm going to All right. So I'm going to read this email here. This is also from Ange. Now, this is a little older, but here she says, congrats on the start of season 2. Looking forward to more OAG. Thinking back to season 1, I was wondering when you might be taking on your brother and sister in those one-on-one basketball games. I'd love a front row ticket. Yeah, that's going to happen someday, but I kind of fell off the wagon of like health and fitness. So I got to get back on that wagon. And when I get back on that wagon, this is going to happen. She goes on to say, then as a grandma, she's a grandma, I'm looking forward to a special celebration on Sunday, September 7th. I love September. It's one of my top months and beats out May anytime, and it's right around the corner. What ideas might... My God, I can't read for shit. What ideas might you have for this big day? As a side note, Grandma Day... Oh, for Christ's sake. As a side note, Grandma Day is on January 21st. Looks like you have 2 days you can now celebrate your mom. Yay. Cheers on season 2 OAM. All right. If you remember, last season we had a big discussion on Mother's Day and about grandmas, if you will, kind of like, taking a back seat. And then in return, there's grandmother or grandparents' day. Now, during my research, I did not know that there was also a grandma day on top of that, for crying out loud, which is January 21st. But I will say that September 7th, I am looking forward to a special celebration on September 7th. I love September. It's one of my top months and beats out May anytime. So let me just look at the old calendar here to make sure I don't double book myself again here. September 7th is Grandma. Oh, it's my grandma's birthday, the one that just sent me that text message. That's fun. Her birthday is on Grandparents' Day. So yes, you heard it here, folks. We'll have to have some sort of celebration that day, and we'll have to turn that into a thing. Because as a husband, that whole Mother's Day is just like, oh no, oh God, oh no. 17 places to go, especially for those that have like stepmoms. Oh, God bless you. All right. So, email this. Oh, our buddy Lou Sassel is back. Love it. Love it. Here we go. Hi there, Jake Ken. Episode 2.2 had me chuckling. Good job. Love it. Great to hear it. Full disclosure, I've been holding off emailing you because I've been enjoying the mini meltdowns you've been having the last few episodes. Yeah, I've been getting pissed. I say gas grill because I'm too lazy for charcoal, and I think with enough seasoning, it all tastes the same. Good point. I already forgot what the question was from this past episode. Let me get back to you on that one. Your friend, Lou Sassel. Yeah, I agree. I think we're leaning towards the propane. I think we're leaning that way. That's the way we're leaning. Did I say I'm leaning that way? Okay. All right, we got another email here, but this one's taking a while to load. I don't know why you're doing that to me. Let's try this one here. Oh, for the love of God. Why isn't this loading? Come on, you POS. Okay. Come on. Piece of shit. Okay, I can read it from like it's luckily it's short. So hopefully there's not like a freaking like second paragraph here or something. So we got Mel, she says she has a question. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm here for. And this is a serious question, I think. How do you choose a school for your kid to go to? Very interesting. Well, I'll tell you how. That's really funny that you asked that because. So you know, like, okay, we all know like where you live, right? If you live in a certain place, there's a certain, school district that you live in, right? And that's kind of, I would say the majority of the people send their kids to those schools. Now, unless you're a rich asshole, you can send your kids to like very fancy schmancy schools, but I don't even know if we have fancy schmancy schools in this area. You know what I mean? Like the schools where you got to dress up in like your stupid tie and dumb vest, preparatory school is what they're called, I believe. Yeah, preparatory. Like I don't think we have schools like that around here. And if we do, I don't know about them. So obviously, the kind of circle I run with, right? But then there's the other school. Now, I'll be honest with you. You might want to, maybe you'll think differently of me. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But we do send our kids to a private school. We send our kids. Now, the reason being, I don't want to be, do too much Jesus thumping here, but we do send our kids to our church school. And the reason we do that is because it's the church we belong to, so we do get to the price is a little less than if you weren't a member of the church. So it fits in the budget. But I like the idea that the school is, there's not as many kids as a public school, right? So you get to know the teachers. The teachers know your kids. I just really like it. Personally, I like the kids growing up, learning about the Bible and all that stuff, and just, just the 10 Commandments and all that stuff. I'm not saying they're going to grow up to be saints or anything like that. God knows I didn't. But I think it's just something about that where you just learn. I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's a tough question. So either A, you're going to go to school in your district, or B, like where we live, it just seems like you either go to school in your district or you go to school that you go to church. If you go to church, if you're a church person and you have a school that goes, with your church, you can send them there. Now, I think a lot of it just goes with your gut. Like for example, if you live in a school district, my sister, for example, the school district that we lived in when I was a kid, I went to the school in this district that I lived in. And I believe at that time there was open enrollment, so I could have went wherever I wanted to. But I went to the one in the district. My sister, on the other hand, did not. Nor did my brother. My brother and sister both went to a different school than I did. And it's because they felt more comfortable there. Now, we went to our church school, 1st grade through 8th grade, and it was in the town that they went to high school in. So naturally, those first 8 years, you get to know people. Like it would have been a lot more comfortable for me if I would have went to that other school as well, but I just didn't. My dad, it was also like one of those things where I wanted to go to school where my dad went to school kind of thing, and kind of, following his footsteps, if you will. But, I didn't know anyone when I went to, I knew people, but I didn't know them that well. I didn't have any friends, put it that, well, that sounds sad. I had friends. But I didn't, put it this way. When I went to high school, it's not like I had a kind of like, oh, God, that first lunch was tough. Where do you sit? Because I didn't have a crew at the time. People had their crew from 8th grade or from other parochial schools that were in the district. They had, people knew people, and I didn't. I knew some people by name just because of, sports and stuff growing up, but it's not like we were buddies. Now, over time, I became one of the more popular kids in high school, for crying out loud. Just an incredible person. But but at the start there, it was tough. So it'd been a lot easier for me to go to that other high school, but I just didn't want to. So they did because they knew people. It was an easier transition for them. makes all the sense in the world. So sometimes like that, you have like when it gets to the high school ages, you almost got to, your kids are old enough where you should talk to them and be like, what are you thinking? Do you want to go to that school? And maybe you have some input too. You talk to the teachers, do some research and see, how those schools compare and to tests and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think it's that difficult. You go with your gut. You go with your gut. And, personally, I mean, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I don't really want my kids to go to public school. I like that, we can swing it where they go to the church school and then when, but the thing is when they graduate from 8th grade, then they're gonna, then I, it's like, I don't have anything against them going to public school then, but they're not going to know anybody. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to put my kids through that. I went through it. I worked out fine for me, but it was tough. And I don't want my kids to do that, right? Because at the grade school they go to, like the majority of the people go to the church high school. So very little people, and nobody at that church school goes to the high school that my kids would go to, right? So I don't want them, oh God, I'm just thinking about it now, like them going to high school and not knowing a person. Ugh, I just feel, those are the kids I feel for. That's gotta be the worst. So we're just saving up. We're saving up and we're like, you know what? They're just going to go to that high school because of the friends, because of the social life. So I don't know if that answered your question at all. But sometimes you just got to go with your gut. Do a little bit of research, a lot of bit of research, and then go with your gut. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I hope that helps. I got 3 of them little rugrats, and we thought about it, talked about it. And that's the route we went. She also says, I want a shirt. So, and yeah, I was thinking about those shirts, actually. I had it written down here, shirts. On the, like in the front, it would be like the Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show. And then on the back, we would say something like, windows down, radio up, right? Or one of the 10s and 10s, Another one I was thinking would be kind of funny is on the back, if it just said, nothing special here. I thought that was funny, but whatever. All right. Ooh, Mel sent another email, and this time it loaded, and thank God, because this one's a longer one. The subject is Vegas. Vegas, baby. One of my favorite cities in the world. Right? Sin City. Oh, yeah, I love that place. Talk about hookers, am I right? Shit. All right. Sin City. Talk about hookers, right? God damn it. Sin City. Talk about hookers, right? There we go. 3rd time's a charm, baby. All right, Vegas. She says, thinking about taking a Vegas trip for my 30th birthday next year. Yes. That's where I was on my 30th birthday. I went to Vegas, baby. I don't want to use too much vacation time. Oh, God. Oh, God. I hate that sentence you just wrote. I hate it with all my heart. I'll tell you why when I'm done with the email. I don't want to use too much vacation time. She says, for a Vegas virgin, what do you think a good amount of time there would be? Okay, I see what you're saying here. And I know the perfect answer. When it comes to Vegas, I am your guy. There's just no 2 ways about it. I'm the guy you come to with your Vegas questions. I will say one thing, though. That second sentence, the reason I freaked out is because I've been really learning here lately that you only do live once. And your work, they give you a PTO, and you should use it. There is no rewards for not using your PTO. There's no rewards. Nothing. I think back in the day, years ago, back in the good old days, you could roll over your PTO. I've heard people getting paid out their PTO. But nowadays, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that really exists anywhere. Like, if you don't use it, you lose it. The good old days of that, it's just, you don't roll. It's like you use it or you lose it. That's the reward you get, huh? You don't use it, you lose it. Screw you, it's gone. Capitalism at its best. You don't know where I stand politically, do you? You don't know. You might have an idea, oh, this guy's a right-winger, Trump lover. But then I say shit like that, and you're like, huh, goddamn. Goddamn, maybe he's a lefty after all. And I don't mind a latte sipping lefty, right? I don't mind a latte. You don't know where I stand. You probably do. Anyway, so, but that's what I'm saying. Use the PTO. Stay, but I am glad you asked the question, because Vegas is one of those places where, you don't need to, nor do you want to stay too long. Okay? Vegas is the perfect long weekend getaway. I'm saying you fly out on a Thursday, okay? You come back on Sunday. And hopefully you come back with your shirt. And that's not a joke about being nude. That's a joke about losing your shirt at the casino. That could be taken a few different ways. But that's a perfect city, because this is why you're going to want to do Vegas. All right, you're going in a year, okay? Start saving up money. Start saving up, okay? Every week you put $10 in a jar. More if you can, okay? But $10, shit, you're going to want to put more. If you can throw, money more, you're going to want to go to Vegas with $2,000 in your pocket, okay? And that $2,000 is money. Now, I'm talking ordinary average people. Like, if you're a rich dick, yeah, and you got $20,000 in your pocket. But if you're just an ordinary average person, you want to have like $2,500 in your when you go there. And that money, and what's cool about it is that money, you have this, when you go to Vegas, you have this like thing in your head where it's like, this $2,500 is nothing. Like, you're not going to go home with it. And if you do, even better. I went to Vegas and I came home up money. I've done it. And I paid for the trip, and I was up money. I was ecstatic. But I've also gone to Vegas and I blew it all. But when you go to Vegas, it's just something different out there. You're throwing around $100 bills like they're singles. You just, screw it, hit me. $100 bets. You just, drinks, meals, walking around. We dress up. At night we go out, we dress up, put a suit on. My wife, she'll put on this smoking hot dress, right? And we walk up and down town like we're not ordinary average. We walk up and down the strip like we are extraordinary. That's the only time, ladies and gentlemen, that I act like that, and that's in Vegas. But that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to start saving money. And then, like I say, you're going to want to go Thursday, come back Sunday. And that's all you need. That's all you need, because you got Thursday night, and you're going to go hard. Then you got Friday, right? Then you got Friday night, you're going to go hard. And then you got Saturday night, you're going to go hard again. And then that plane ride home is going to be tough. But that's when you're going to want to pay a little bit more, fly into an airport that is close to home so you can get home as soon as possible. That's what you want to do. That's all you need. Because if you stay longer than that, there really is, like, Vegas is a huge city, and there's a lot to do, but it's all the same stuff. Like, you see, you're really not going to be able to afford to see a shit ton of shows, right? You're not, you're going to, if you lose all your money, then you're done. So, like, that to me is like the perfect, that's so short story long, Thursday to Friday. All right, so let's recap. We did emails, we did messages. The question for the next episode is, how much money, what's the right amount of money where you are just, you can buy your dream car, you can go on that vacation, you're buying Irish butter, and you're not worried about it. But you're not so loaded where you're kind of like a D-bag. All right? What is that dollar amount? What is it? My answer is I want to say $1 million. I want to say $1 million, but I think you could get away with $2 million. I think you could get away with $2 million. You have $2 million. You're going to have a nice house. You're going to have some toys, but you're still a cool dude. You get more than $2 million, and now that's when things start to change, I think. Might be a little less. That might be a little high. I'm not sure. I think $2 million, though. Now I take that all back. If you were given that money, if you are the son or daughter of a rich person and you didn't do shit to earn it, and now you have that money, that's a totally different conversation. You are probably a loser, jerk, and a D-bag. Chances are high. Just like the person walking in pajama pants is a meth head. Chances are high. But if you earned the money, I would say $2 million. So, interested to see and hear and see what your answers are. And I never talked about Diet Sundrop. God damn it. You have to wait till next episode. Oh, leave a little cliffhanger there. We're going to talk about some Diet Sundrop next week. Oh, yeah, baby. And I got to text my grandmother back. And I got to somehow get my hands on those apple bars. Well, join us next week to see if I ever did get those apple bars. Later.